been a profound change, and I think the most important thing that I have to keep telling everyone is I really didn't notice it until it went away.
Yeah.
You know, these problems just become a part of you, and you think, well, this is just how I am.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
That was my experience too, and so when you got your test results back, well, first of all, what do you know? Is it a ALCAT or a LISA MRT? What test did she run on you?
It was an ELISA test. It was from Laboratories. And I have several pages here. One's called the Immuno-1 blood prints, and it's an IgG comprehensive food sensitivity assay. Then they also did the IgG ELISA food sensitivity assay, and then they also did a IgA gluten antibody assay. So there were several.
Okay.
Pretty comprehensive.
Okay,
test.
So I'm not sure if I heard the first one. Did you say IgE on the first one, and then
No, IgG. It's all IgG.
And then IgA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One's called the Immuno-1 blood prints.
Okay. And how many foods were you tested for?
There are over 400.
400. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And did she also go for food colorings and additives and over-the-counter medicine like Tylenol or?
This was strictly food.
Excuse me, not Tylenol, acetaminophen.
Yes. No, this was strictly
food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Casein, also. Yeah.
And then let me ask, would you prefer to be on the food elimination diet all the time, or would you prefer to have your test results and be eating by that?
It's actually been much more helpful to have. I would say they were both helpful, and I can tell you the reasons why I really think it's important to do both. But it was very helpful to get the blood test back, because until I did, it was like it galvanized all of my previous results from doing the elimination diet. And it also taught me a lot of things that weren't on the elimination diet to test. Turns out I'm a +1 on spinach, and I used to eat spinach all the time.
No, wait a minute. Let me stop you right there. Okay, because some people are like, what? I know they're out there going, what? Spinach is bad for her? What? So just say that again.
Well, I had, when they tested my blood serum against 400 different foods, things like blackberries and spinach, sugarcane, coconut, cow's milk, garlic, things like that, tomatoes even, I reacted to. And those things, on the elimination diet, when you're doing the diet, you don't, it says you can have all those vegetables, spinach, whatever you want. But it turns out I really should stay away from yellow squash and spinach, and even garlic.
Right.
And there's no way to really test, for that unless you do the blood test.
Right. So,
yeah. I'd be doing the elimination diet for like 4 years, testing all of these things.
Right. I know you did drive yourself nuts. So, how sensitive are you to spinach? I mean, you said that was a 1, but people don't understand what that is.
Okay, well, it says the increasing levels of antibodies are a +1, +2, +3, and 4. So it goes up to 4 on this test, and that just rates how allergic you are to those foods. So I was a +1 on 19 things, but a +2 on yeast, and I was actually a +3, so severely allergic to eggs, turns out. And when I went back and looked at my food diary from the elimination diet, it turns out that the week that I introduced eggs back into my diet, which was, in one day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I had eggs. Within 48 hours, I actually, even on my thyroid medication, had a thyroid storm. Like, it affected me so profoundly that I actually had a thyroid storm. And, or I say almost a thyroid storm. I wasn't put in the hospital, but I had all of my symptoms come back, even on the meds, which was it was so profound when I was on the elimination diet and I was keeping my diary. I actually thought it would have maybe I messed up on my meds. Maybe this has nothing to do with food. There was a lot of denial going on because I thought I can't be that allergic to eggs. That's not a food allergy, having a thyroid storm. I mean, what is that? And when I got the blood test back and compared the two, she and I both were in her office going, yeah, well, it looks like you don't need to have eggs, at least, for a long time.
And as a double whammy, because the listeners don't know, but you have your own chickens, and so you're like create. You have your own egg garden, basically.
Yes,
egg farm.
And, we would eat eggs a lot more than probably most people because we do have chickens. I mean, I was eating eggs constantly. So, and a lot of
eggs are healthy. Eggs are healthy for you.
And they're so yummy, and they're in everything.
And they're humane, and they're, Oh.
And the good news about, and I try to look at the positive in all this. It's hard to not get completely bummed out, but the good news is that when they did the test that showed what, the whole leaky gut syndrome test, there were some proteins that existed in my bloodstream that probably shouldn't be there. That most definitely shouldn't be there. So it's possible that because I have leaky gut, that things are getting into my bloodstream, like the eggs and like gluten and dairy and all those things that wouldn't normally be in my bloodstream because I have if I had a normal gut. So repairing the gut is a whole other part of this thing that could, it could solve this problem over a couple of years. I might be able to reintroduce eggs, but
got it. And just so the listeners are clear, food sensitivities and adult onset food allergies, these types of things, they have a root ultimately in something else. And, I advise everybody to get tested for their food because trying to find the ultimate root of what's going on to why your sensitivity is increased, why you've suddenly developed allergies, takes a while. So people can automatically just start the food elimination diet right away, see how they feel after a couple of weeks. I mean, typically by the first week, if they cut out all the common allergens, they should feel better, like dramatically better. And then get their test score, and then you have to start finding where eventually, not everybody will want to do this path. I've started this path, you've started this path. What ultimately caused, me to be so sensitive and to have such a bad reaction to so many foods?
Right.
The first thing is, part of that is normal. Part of that is normal. Part of that is, genetics. Part of that is, your case is leaky gut. And part of that, in my case, is I've got a lot of heavy metals in me, I've discovered, so I'm fairly toxic. So, how long is that going to take you to heal the gut, do you think?
I really don't know. I mean, it's basically rebuilding the lining of your intestines. And that could have been damaged from years and years ago of me taking a course of antibiotics. Or maybe over the years that I've had 2 or 3 courses of antibiotics. And the lining of my gut had never really been replenished. And that happens, that damage happens over years, so I'm assuming it's going to take a couple of years to get it rebuilt. I really don't know.
Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, I'm so allergic to eggs, it definitely won't be the first thing I try to reintroduce.
You're not, right, exactly. You're not going to jump on that wagon anytime soon. Yeah. No. Wow. Well, this is fascinating. We've got a couple more minutes. And so is there anything that we haven't talked about yet that you would like or had intended to share that maybe didn't come up?
Well, let me think. The only thing that I really would like to share with people, and that's why I've been sharing my story, is there are so many friends of mine that are every day complaining of being so tired and not feeling themselves and maybe always getting colds or always having allergies. Or they even tell me about their kid who has a cough for 2 years. They just can't get rid of it. And I keep thinking that somehow I have this really precious information that I want to share with them and say, if you put your child on this diet and found out what was causing them to always have chest congestion, it's probably not what's in the air. It's probably something he's eating. Or my friend that's always tired, it seems like that too could really be from what they're ingesting. So I really hope that a lot of people go out and they, if nothing else, get the information. Dr. Mark Hyman was one of the first people that started this, I think, elimination diet. At least he's really one of the most published doctors. If you Google
absolutely.
Dr. Mark Hyman is a really good resource for, even my doctor says this has been adapted from Dr. Mark Hyman's, diet, is what she uses. So you Google it, find out what the elimination diet's about, try it. What's the worst that can happen? You're going to feel, you could feel amazing afterwards, and then the choice is made for you. It seems like you're sacrificing a lot by changing your lifestyle and the way that you eat and maybe where you eat out. I take my own salad dressing now to restaurants. If we're going out and we're meeting a couple, I just kind of, in my purse, take my own little salad dressings because I can't have vinegar. And, it's just one of those things. I'm adapting.
Mm-hmm.
And I can still be social. I can still enjoy outings. And, I'm trying not to look at it as a drag, but more like, wow, isn't it worth it to feel good?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the best way to look at it. And, definitely this audio is going up on the website, so send as many people as you want to go listen to it. I'm going to be directing people to listen to it. People will find it through searches. And, the more people we can tell, because I'm motivated like you are, it's a radical, my way of viewing the world has just shifted irreparably and will never go back. Most of, a lot of what people are complaining about in their regular everyday chronic illnesses, have to do with their food. Mm-hmm. And it is a change, but the benefits, the health benefits you get from it are just absolutely amazing. And of course, that is going to be different with every person. I've heard some amazing stories. One friend who isn't willing to be recorded and share her information that way, she has, she's going to the hospital all the time.
Wow.
And it's like, and had some really weird physical effects, and it was all from food. And she's like you; she can't stop telling her friends and family, and a lot of them have gone on and gotten their food sensitivity test. Seeing the dramatic change in her, and so we're we just keep on keeping on doing the best we can, right?
Right. That's exactly right.
And one other thing I just want to go ahead and say before we leave, when people get their tests back, and I'm assuming you'll agree with this, but let me know if you don't. When people get their test scores back and they adapt their eating habits to their test scores, then you still want to keep in mind all the other good, healthy eating advice. Because that's what I did wrong. I said, oh, I can have potatoes. Oh, I can have pasta. And I ate way too much potatoes and way too much pasta when I just shouldn't have been eating that much starch every day. So when you get your food sensitivity test back, you still want to eat as much healthy, organic, raw, fresh, more fruits and vegetables than other carbs. You want to maintain those healthy eating goals and habits, but within the new context of the food sensitivity test.
Right, and really, it just adds up to being more simple in the way that you shop. Less packaged food, because there's so many ingredients, and having to read 20 different ingredients on a box there's going to be something in there that you may have a sensitivity to, or you won't even know the source of. And it's just really important to shop simply and live more simply. You're going to buy bulk foods. You buy whole grains. You have simple meals. We have fish, and we have rice, brown rice, and we have a vegetable. And it seems a little boring, but it doesn't have to be. It can be. It's nourishing. It's simple. It's actually a lot cheaper to eat like that too.
Yeah, I find that meals taste better. I feel better after eating the meal, and so the simpler the meal, well, we'll just let everybody find that out on their own. But yeah, that's another aspect of it, and people aren't going to get it until they're there. I think. Yeah. All right, so Heather, thank you very much, everybody. You can go check out Heather at heathercarter.info. Check out her wonderful sculpture art. You will be very impressed, I promise. And then you've got a ton of articles on your blog at greenguru.org. And then, of course, if you're in the Fredericksburg, Wimberley, Austin area, make sure you check out bountifulsprout.com. That will be your online farmer's market, essentially, is what it is. And we buy all of our eggs through Bountiful Sprout. Joe can't tolerate grocery store bought eggs. I have no idea why, but the Bountiful Sprout he can eat totally fine.
Well, we've been bringing you ours too.
Yes, and now that you have extra. Oh, well, Heather, thank you again so much. Really enjoyed talking to you. And
you too.
We'll talk to everybody else next time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
This conversation is brought to you by foodpowers.com. Thank you for listening.